Gigi Hadid went ballistic on social media because she and her sister Bella have been exposed for being connected to Epstein. He has various emails admitting that he takes credit for their modeling career, and even stated that they follow the rules and they give blowjobs when asked, which is why the Hadid sisters are so successful. Lamar Odom is calling Khloe Kardashian a liar after she told him that his own father wanted to pull him off life support so Lamar's dad Joe could collect money from Lamar's estate. Khloe claims that she stopped Lamar's family from killing him off, but he does not believe her. Kim Kardashian was just rejected by Hulu, which is crazy because Hulu has been her biggest partner, but they're not impressed by her latest project and they're making it clear that Kim Kardashian is not as famous as she used to be. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Let's Get Into It podcast. I have a lot for you today. We're going to be talking about the Kardashians, Khloe and Kim, Lamar Odom, Kanye West, Britney Spears, Cat's Eye, and much more. But let's kick off this episode by talking about the Hadid sisters' connection to you-know-who. Let's get into the Hadid sisters and the files. If you were to go onto this website, Jmail, you can see all of the different emails that Jeffrey, you-know-who, sent out. And the Hadid sisters were actually brought up at one point. This person asked Jeffrey, how did the Hadid sisters become models and make so much money? I don't understand. And then Jeffrey replied, what do we know? I don't know. Another person says the father paid the agency, which I always believed Mohammed, their father, paid their way through Hollywood and got Yolanda, the Real Housewives, and all that. Now, this thread is kind of a mess. You can see at one point he said, there are too many girls giving blowjobs in the butt. Wait, what? This is crazy. We're talking about the Hadid sisters right here. At one point within this thread, they write, because they follow directions, it's that simple. What directions are the Hadid sisters following? Besides, like, run onto the runway right now, or, pose differently. Ever since the Hadid sisters' names were brought up in Jeffrey's emails, a lot of people are asking why. What's their connection to this man? And some people are even unfollowing the models because they suspect that maybe, like, Jeffrey had leveraged his power to help them out in their careers. You must keep in mind that Jeffrey and Naomi Campbell were, like, best of friends. He had friendships with plenty of models, so it wouldn't surprise me. They do seem a little bit young. Wait, that's not correct. They're like young, but to be friends, but like not, oh God. But we know everything about Jeffrey and that just went really, really dark.
Can we talk about the Hadid sisters being mentioned in the e-files and how it sounds like they were sold by their parents? They were mentioned by a redacted name emailing Jeffrey asking him, like, how did they get so big? Kind of seeming like, what did they do so I could do it too? Her emails from December of 2015, and in 2015, Gigi Hadid was 20 years old and had already signed with IMG Models and was working on major modeling campaigns at that time. Her sister Bella Hadid was 19 and also starting her career in the fashion industry. And she was also part of the same modeling agency.
Gigi Hadid is seemingly as upset by this connection to Jeffrey. She decided to respond on social media, writing that it made her sick to her stomach. Horrible to read someone you've never met speak about you in that way, especially in this context. Never in my life met the monster. To me, it was so obvious in that email chain that he tried to take responsibility of people's careers in order to manipulate his victims. In this case, whoever was emailing him questions about my career, who never saw the work he claimed he had gotten them. So essentially, Jeffrey would pretend that he had made these models careers so he could promise that to his victims and manipulate them. Gigi says that she hasn't commented because she didn't want to take away from the stories of real victims of his, but this comment made her realize that it's not clear and it's important to let the people know. I grew up privileged, yes, but my parents protected me and taught me the value of hard work, the same hard work that got them to this country and gave them careers. We applied for, and my mom brought herself to meetings and agencies in New York just before I turned 18, two of which she was signed to in her career, Marlins and Ford. And I probably met with 10 agencies. Only Marlins, IMG, and maybe one other agency had offered her a contract. So she's explaining that she did all this hard work through Yolanda, and Yolanda was there so she can be her witness. She says to be named in those files, I think I was 20 to 21 at the time that he would have written that email. It's disturbing, and I want to state that I have never had any affiliation with that disgusting human being. May he rest in hell. Let's get into Kim Kardashian. I just know that Kim Kardashian's ego is hurting today because she was rejected by Hulu, which is her home base for this new show titled Group Chat. I just know that's gotta hurt because Kim's comedy pilot, Group Chat, has failed to find space at Hulu nearly 2 years into development. So they've spent 2 years and so much money on this show that never came to fruition, probably because it didn't have much of a purpose. Damn, and it's a double whammy because Variety reported last Friday that Kim and Lala Anthony's project, based on the book The Love Playbook, Rules for Love, Sex and Happiness, was rejected by the streaming platform, so Hulu's not giving them any money right now. Kim was set to narrate this Group Chat project and serve as an executive producer. She said she wanted to share stories from her own experiences, which are much different than most of ours. This is obviously a big L for Kim Kardashian because she's really been trying to make it into the acting space, and now that her sister Kylie is getting all the attention, I feel like she's a little bit concerned.
Not Kylie Jenner actually eating in Charlie XCX's The Movie in the Moment. Like, they're doing a scene together and her acting, like, she actually ate with that. Everyone in the comments is like, damn, like, we love to hate on the Kardashian Jenners, but Kylie actually ate this up. Clearly, she got some sort of pointers from her Oscar-nominated boyfriend, Timothée Chalamet. Like, why was she so good? Like, why was she so natural in this scene? Like, I am so confused.
Let's get into Khloe and Lamar. I don't understand why Khloe Kardashian is out here embarrassing herself for what? She must be getting a big fee for partnering up with Lamar Odom to go through his past because he is an absolute hot mess right now. I mean, we know what kind of man he is. I don't know why we need to retell this story so many times about him being a bad guy to Khloe and being on all these drugs, and clearly he's still allegedly on some. In the newest Netflix documentary, Untold, The Death and Life of Lamar Odom, he recalled the night that he met Khloe. And remember, their relationship moved very quickly. They got together, they got engaged, and got married really fast. What's interesting about Lamar talking about this first night meeting Khloe is that it seems like he wanted to get with her because of who she was. Because she was a Kardashian, they were super hot at the time, people were watching them on TV, and he saw an opportunity to have personal gain and, of course, financial gain. It is crazy how Lamar decides to describe Khloe. He admitted that part of his motivation was fame and access that came with her world, saying that he essentially wanted in, which is why he manipulated her to get into this relationship. Probably why they needed to move so quickly to getting married, because she only had 30 days to go and meet the man and figure out who he really was, and that was enough time for him to convince her that he was a good guy.
He then married Khloe Kardashian just 30 days after meeting her, and honestly, what he put this woman through, I'm not even sure how she's still standing. The documentary essentially exposes that Lamar very much pursued and married Khloe for clout. He wanted to use her fame to become a reality star and secure his future. In fact, their show, Khloe and Lamar, was actually all his idea. She didn't even want to do it. Shortly after they got married, Lamar fell deep into drug addiction. Khloe would put him in rehab, but he would break out, disappear, go on benders for days. She said she would search for him and find him down alleys, in motels. He'd be surrounded by drug paraphernalia, tinfoil. She would clean up his hotel rooms. There was times she had to pump his stomach. One night, a woman he was having an affair with even called up Kris Jenner and said, "He's so out of control, you need to come and get him."
The documentary makes it clear that the relationship was filled with instability. Lamar openly admits to cheating during the marriage. In one moment, things got so out of control that a woman that he was with actually called Khloe and told her to come and get him because of his drug use. His addiction was also far deeper than most people knew. It wasn't just a casual thing. It escalated into heavy use of Coca-Cola and some crack, which is spooky. I also wonder what he's on nowadays, because in this documentary, you can tell that there's something off. And I think it's more than just like the injuries that he's sustained from the coma.
And the interventionist said, you're going to go in there and you're going to tell him you need to go to rehab. And if you don't stay for a 3-month program, you're going to say you're getting a divorce. Everyone around me was like, he'll never say he wants the divorce.
Well, because Lamar really loved the lifestyle, but also when he is in his addiction era, I feel like he does not care what Khloe thinks, clearly.
We do the intervention. I give my speech. And he's like, okay, all I want is my passport, and yeah, let's get the divorce.
Ooh, he was ready to quit it. I also was never really convinced that he was that into her.
I was like looking around like, wait, I don't want the divorce. You guys told me I have to say this. Lamar left immediately, was like,
Packed his bags and got out of there.
we're getting the divorce, and I'm never coming back here again.
What's really unsettling about that situation is that everyone around Khloe was trying to wake her up to the type of guy that Lamar was, and she was convinced that he would not want to go and get a divorce. But when she went and actually asked the man, he was more than happy to get up and walk out of there. I mean, at this point, he already had his spinoff show. He's made a ton of money with her. His career in basketball is kind of fading, and he's really just a nobody, lost in his sickness of getting high and going to brothels. The thing about Khloe is that she tried so badly, because I feel like he was at least the only person that she's really been in love with. I don't believe that she's really loved Tristan, because Tristan's cheated so much. He's been so sneaky and nasty. There's no way that she's really felt the way that she felt with Lamar. I remember watching that wedding on TV.
In your life, she was there fucking through that man's side for everything. You don't get a lot of Khloe's, bro. Like that, when your wife wipes your ass at that age and she's a Kardashian, she didn't hire somebody, she wiped his ass, was help changing his diapers. You don't get a lot of women like that, dude. Those are keepers. You done lost a good one there. Craziest part is like after you go through that whole endeavor and you have fucking like 100 strokes and 70 heart attacks and shit, and she buys you a house, like rents you a house, pays fucking full-time nurses. She's on her dime. Granted, she's got cash, but she don't have to do shit.
One thing about the Kardashians, they do stick together. You can hate them or whatever, but they are always on each other's side. And what's fascinating about Lamar's family is that they could not care less about him, at least according to Khloe. She claims that whenever Lamar was in his coma, his father was ready to pull the plug as long as he was going to cash out on his son's death. This is disgusting.
I was there when your father said pull the plug so he can be on your life insurance.
Okay.
I was there. So was Kim, so was my mom. Vegas to Cedars, I was there through it all. I remember everything. I didn't leave you for 4 months.
Now, I don't think that Lamar really had the time to go and respond to the claim about his father within this interview. I mean, Khloe claiming that Joe wanted Lamar gone has to hurt. But after this Netflix documentary came out, he has done some press, and it kind of sounds like Lamar is arguing that Khloe isn't 100% factual when it comes to this story. Now, I actually believe that Khloe is telling the truth here. I think Lamar just doesn't want to believe the truth.
She revealed that your dad wanted to take you off life support.
Yeah. You know, I was knocked out and sleep at that time, but, you know, if you know Joe Odom, I don't think that's something that would ever come out of his mouth. He was my, you know, biggest fan. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't know where that got caught and mistranslated.
You feel like that's not the truth?
I mean, I just
Or you'd like to believe that's not the truth?
I mean, I just can't see him ever doing that.
Khloe described a little bit more of what went down at the hospital with Lamar. She says, so at this point, Lamar can barely talk. He can speak a little bit, but it's more like, everything's delayed. He wasn't able to shower on his own. She said, once you know the smell of crack, it's the most identifiable, disgusting smell, and there's nothing that you can confuse it with. And I remember stopping by the house and I smelled that crack. And of course, at this point, Khloe is so frustrated because what do you mean I'm at the hospital wiping your butt for you, yet the second you get out, you've got crack? And what Khloe is experiencing here is what so many of us experience in our own lives with people who are addicts in our lives. I mean, I have never been an addict. I don't know what that is like, but I have been surrounded by people who are. I have people who are very close to me who have struggled with addiction. And I do think that it's really human of Khloe to be going through this experience with Lamar.
I remember slowly tiptoeing up the stairs. He was in his bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed, smoking crack.
Thank God he never got physical with her. Like, I feel like that would have already come out if that had ever happened. The only time they ever got physical is whenever she punched him, supposedly.
And I just punched him in his face. I just put my life on hold to take care of you. How did you get this? You can't.
Also, I mean, I don't like any type of domestic violence. at all. Kind of interesting how Khloe just like admitted to like punching him in the face right here.
Can't talk? Well, lo and behold, he had a phone. He was better than I knew. He was playing me so I can continue this lifestyle for him.
Even though Lamar is incredibly disrespectful to Khloe and was throughout their entire relationship, it does seem like he still has a soft spot for her, as he should. I'm like, wake up this man if he does not care about Khloe, who had really saved his life here. It does seem like even though they have disagreements on whether Joe Odom would have pulled the plug or not, he still rides for Khloe. I do feel like she's the one who truly got away. And honestly, if I were you, Khloe, just stay away. Just stay away for a long, long time. This comment reads, Khloe has been mistreated by everyone. Life is not fair. Wow, how about Khloe to thank you? Thank you for being a good woman, for putting your needs last and keeping true to our vows. He never apologized to her in this documentary, not once. Another person says that he wasn't worth all of that. And this documentary made me dislike him even more. I don't think you guys realize how serious I am about my Lola blanket. Like, this is the most comfortable blanket I've ever felt in my entire life. I never knew I could love a blanket so much, but the Lola blankets are so comfortable. There's like a stretch to it. We've got the faux fur, of course. Now, I am a blanket connoisseur. I've purchased so many blankets throughout the years. I love a good cuddly blankie, but this compares to nothing else. There's a stretch to it. I don't know if you guys can really even tell, but there's a stretch to this blanket to where it conforms around your body. It's kind of like double layered, but it's not hot. I sleep with it all night. The best thing about this blanket is that, well, I've been actually using this for probably like a month and a half at this point. Look how nice the logo is. It's such a nice blanket, but you can machine wash it and it doesn't change the comfortability. I've had some other blankets from other places to where you wash them and it feels like a board afterwards. This is as soft as when I got it out of the box. And guess what? I've got a deal for you guys, because for a limited time offer, you guys can get 40% off your Lola blanket. You have to use my code Sloan. So go to lolablankets.com and use my code Sloan to get 40% off. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Again, that is lolablankets.com and use code Sloan to get 40% off and let them know that I sent you there, because we are a big fan. Thank you, Lola Blankets, for sponsoring this podcast, and enjoy the rest of this episode. Let's get into Apple Martin. So you guys know Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin's daughter, Apple Martin. We've talked about her before because she's known as a bully. Yes, supposedly she bullied someone to the point where they no longer wanted to be here on Earth. So yeah, not a fan of Apple Martin. She's not a fan of mine either. Like, I know she doesn't like me. You know how I know sometimes like celebrities know of my videos or not? I know that she's familiar with my videos. It looks like Chris, her father, is currently worried about what Apple's future entails within the industry. I'm worried too, because she can't model, she can't sing, and hell if she could act. Chris worries about what the industry does to people. The chances that she will listen to him are less than zero. She's very headstrong and she knows what she wants. Apple has a vision for stardom that's very encompassing: modeling, music, movies. She's ready to go all the way in. Well, I remember that video of her like, what was it? She was, I think, doing karaoke. Let's just say she did not get the Chris Martin's genes. You know, Chris Martin is the lead singer of Coldplay. He's got some vocals. Yeah, not over here. It looks like Gwyneth Paltrow is the one who's now butting heads with her ex over the future of their daughter. Kind of sounds like Chris wants to try to protect her while Gwyneth wants to throw her to the dogs. I just have a feeling that Apple Martin isn't really going to make it. And I'm not trying to be a hater towards Apple Martin. I've seen the modeling. I've seen the music. It's just the hatefulness that kind of goes along with her reputation. I mean, if you are going to be that kind of bully who has, what was their clique called? The Cartier girls or whatever. They had these bracelets in school that they would bully all the poor kids over. I just feel like that kind of energy, that character kind of goes with you, and directors and executives, they're all going to see through it. Better luck next time, Apple Martin. Let's get into Kanye West. Kanye West's comeback shows in Los Angeles were a hot mess. And shame on anyone who went to those shows. I mean, do we not remember what he said about Jewish people? Kanye West berated his crew on stage over the lights multiple times during his Los Angeles comeback show. You could hear him just going off on the microphone because he didn't like how the lights were hitting on his earth.
Yo, I don't like these when the lights move like that, like a disco and shit. It don't go with the stage. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Sorry, guys. You see that? When it does that, don't do that. That's corny, yo. I run it back. Like we always do with this time. I go for mine. I got to shine. Now throw your hands up. What is this, an SNL skit or something? Stop. Is this like an SNL skit or something? Stop doing the vibrating Vegas lights, bro. Like, we went over this in rehearsal.
You could put Kanye West back on stage, you can fill an arena with people, but he's still going to be Kanye West. But him trying to return to mainstream has been interesting. We've seen celebrities go and attend his shows. We've seen other people get onto stage with him besides his daughter. And all this has really angered the public to the point where they're starting to reach out to sponsorships that are associated with Kanye because they're confused as to what Pepsi feels about the Jewish community.
The main sponsor for Wireless Festival this year, that's Pepsi, have now withdrawn their sponsorship. Just to underline how potentially serious this is, they are the main sponsor. If you were to go on Wireless's website, you will see the festival presented as Pepsi Max presents Wireless Festival.
To me, it's fascinating that Kanye's even invited to a festival because at Coachella, there's a Kanye West band. Like if you were to go and try to play Kanye within a DJ set, or if he was mixed into some songs, they will literally pull the plug on your set. So you cannot play anything with Kanye's voice in it. So then who the hell thought it'd be okay to go and have him headline a festival? So we've seen Pepsi act. I mean, they have a lot of money and they announced that they are withdrawing as the main sponsorship. I don't even know how you would throw the festival if your main sponsor dips. Even the prime minister said at one point that they were deeply concerned that Kanye was set to headline the Wireless Festival. Another beverage company named Diageo has withdrawn its support from the festival because of Kanye. I guess two of the biggest brands underneath that brand, Johnny Walker Whiskey and Captain Morgan Rum, have been listed as partners of the festival, but they're dipping. Last year, Kanye was blocked from entering Australia after releasing his song titled Hail You Know Who. He also declared himself an NAZI earlier in that year and sold t-shirts during the Super Bowl with those symbols on them. He did a lot of damage. Wait. We have an update here. London's Wireless Festival has been canceled. So, and it looks like Kanye's been banned from entering the whole United Kingdom. Wait, that is crazy. Not only are sponsors dropping out of the London festival, he can't even enter the country. Kanye has had his visa withdrawn by the UK government, according to The Guardian. The Prime Minister's office said, where individuals pose a threat to public safety or to seek to spread extremism, the government has not hesitated to act, and that includes canceling permission to enter this country for extremist preachers and far-right figures. That is insane to me. The whole country has banned him. Isn't that incredible? He's been banned from the country. Well, you know what? I guess, shout out to the UK for that one. Let's get into Offset. So I don't know if you guys remember Offset. He was part of the Migos. He was with Cardi B. They have several kids together, even though Cardi B wants nothing to do with this man because he was a serial cheater within their relationship. Well, Offset, it looks like he was shot at. Pew pew. I love how there's a Cardi B ad right here on TMZ for Offset, but he was shot near a casino in Florida. I've actually been to this one before, the Seminole Hard Rock. Oh, my friend that lives in Florida, he loves to gamble. Actually taught me how to do it, even though I'm not good at it. But it looks like he was there at a casino, which really nothing good goes down at the casino. Supposedly Offset is fine and currently in the hospital receiving medical care. He's stable and being closely monitored. The police say we are aware of an incident that occurred at the valet area after 7 p.m., which is crazy. It's not even midnight Monday outside of the Hard Rock Hollywood Hollywood, Florida, that resulted in non-life threatening injuries to an individual who was transported to the hospital. Does not sound like we know who the shooter is, does not sound like they're caught, and it sounds like he was not hurt. I wonder if they intentionally shot him in a way to not hurt him, but maybe to warn him.
Offset is in the hospital this morning after he was shot in Florida. Offset, whose real name is Kiari Cephas, is said to be in stable condition, but the extent of his injuries are not known. According to police, the shooting happened near the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. 2 people were detained by police.
One person said, well, so much for that partial Migos reunion. Well, remember, one of them was actually killed from a shooting, so a little bit triggering. I hope it doesn't have anything to do with his brother's place getting shot up last month. If not, hope it didn't have anything to do with the Cardi B drama or money. I hope he's okay. Can you imagine? Cardi B did it. Where was she? She's on tour. Leave her out of this.
There's a party in my pussy. Yeah. There's a party in my pussy.
Let's get into Britney Spears. So Britney's been spending more time with her sons, but her son, Sean Preston, decided to remove Spears from his Instagram handle like hours after adding it. Well, kind of weird for him to go and add Spears to his name because that's not your name. TMZ reported that Sean Preston, who's 20 years old, changed his Instagram username from Sean Preston to Sean P. Spears, incorporating Britney's last name. That's how you know the child support ran out, because how is her son now, 2 years after child support has finished, changing his name to Spears? What happened to Federline? Britney's reunion with her sons comes after she was arrested for a DUI. And it seems like since then, they've really been getting along. I mean, to the point where Sean even wants to change his last name to be closer to his mother. Even though I've been concerned about Britney and her boys, this is kind of a green flag that her sons like her so much that they want to take her surname. A representative said that her boys are going to be spending time with her. Her loved ones are going to come up for an overdue needed plan to set her up for success and well-being.
I can imagine that Britney Spears is like over the moon, that both of her sons are spending time with her. And then all of a sudden, Sean Preston has changed his last name on Instagram from Federline to Spears. But for me, it's a complete and utter money grab. Money's gone. They need it. They need to solidify themselves in that will. And I think it's so sad for her. Like, all she ever wanted was a relationship with her children, and she never had the opportunity to have it. And now that she does have it, it feels like such a money grab.
This person writes, I hope that this is genuine and healing to both of them. Another person says that they're using her. Money grabs or not, that is her children. None of our business. Let's get into Megan Fox. I've actually got a deep dive on Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly coming onto my main channel, and I'm telling you guys, you will not want to miss it. Megan Fox reportedly blocked MGK, her baby daddy. Megan Fox has been posting these raunchy photos on Instagram. It's more like she's an Instagram model nowadays, and it looks like it's caught the attention of Machine Gun Kelly. He decided to comment at one point, "Stoked I have your phone number." He also wrote in a comment, "Stoked we had a baby," and those two comments were enough for Megan. She decided to block him. This report from Radar says that Megan Fox is relieved that she and Machine Gun Kelly have a harmonious co-parenting relationship these days, but she still hates that he's pressuring her to reboot their romance because he keeps trying to get her to get back with him, and he's a monster. He's cheated on her so much. This source says that Megan can't trust him. He's betrayed her too many times. She doesn't want that kind of chaos in her life, and she doesn't want to set that kind of toxic example for their daughter. They are great as co-parents. It's when they add the other part that things start to spiral. Machine Gun Kelly has clearly not let go of the idea that they could get back together. He's constantly dropping hints, trying to remind her of their history and telling her they belong together. I am just glad, so glad that Megan Fox has finally woken up. I mean, remember, this woman was convinced that they were soulmates, they were twin flames, that their souls were bonded, that she'll never be able to escape him. So it's refreshing to hear that she's blocking him, creating space, and trying to stand up for herself.
Us to drink each other's blood might mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
okay,
we do
cool.
consume
Guys,
each other's
come on.
blood on occasion for ritual purposes.
Just for the ritual,
only.
you know.
It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul, let me bleed on you. It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened.
Let's get into Caitlyn Jenner. So Caitlyn Jenner suffered a horrific loss. No, she did not run over another person. She lost her bestie, Sophia Hutchins, who was also her confidant, her like manager of some sort. She also was like her trans friend, possibly romantic partner, who she had learned a lot from. Like I'm sure that like Sophia taught Caitlyn how to do her makeup. She must have, because ever since Sophia died, Caitlyn's been looking like a hot mess. But Caitlyn is now filing a creditor claim against her late friend, claiming that she owes her like $500,000. This is crazy. Like Caitlyn barely even seemed upset whenever Sophia died. Remember, Sophia died from an ATV accident near Caitlyn's home, like fell off a cliff and tragically died. Well, according to documents, Caitlyn claims that Sophia had over $400,000 in credit card charges, cash advances, and shopping sprees, and then she tragically died. Sophia allegedly spent more than $273,000 on Shopify, eBay, a bunch of different online realtors. So it looks like she likes to go online shopping, which I get. You know, I love online shopping. But Caitlyn claims that her manager owed her $133,000 for lawyers the friends retained together. It also looks like she racked up $16,000 in debit card charges and $7,000 in cash advances. Even though Caitlyn is allowed to access Sophia's credit cards for work, any personal funds that were used were supposed to be reimbursed, which did not happen by the time of her death. Remember, she passed away on July 2nd, 2025 at only 29 years old. What happened was Sophia was supposedly speeding on the ATV when she may have hit another car, which ultimately left her to veer off of the cliff. Like she kind of backed into another car, hit them, and then fell off of this huge cliff. Look at it. And just completely like crushed and died in this thing, which is crazy because it does have a cage onto it. So it must have just really destroyed over the 350-foot drop. But it is insane because I've really not seen Caitlyn say anything about Sophia besides the fact that she thinks that she's owed money. There's something really, really wrong about this woman. Let's get into Cat's Eye. So as you guys are watching this, I will be on my way to Coachella Valley for Cat's Eye, and Mano, who is part of the group, has made it clear that she will be performing with the rest of her band members, even though it seems like she's on her way out. Hybe confirmed that Mano will be joining the rest of the group for their performance at Coachella, which is weird because I feel like they don't want her there. They've kept her out of a bunch of performances. I feel like the only reason that she's performing with them is because Coachella probably made a big deal about them being paid off already and having Mano there. And it seems like they're just doing this for Coachella. It probably, in my opinion, will be the last time that Mano will perform with them. A portion of the internet is convinced that this is all a marketing ploy to go and push Cat's Eye even further by creating this fake drama to get people paying attention.
This leaker said that Mano is legally obligated to perform at Coachella, and after Coachella, they're going to announce her exit from the group. Before Leak Site on Twitter posted this statement, basically insinuating that Hybe and Geffen will lose a lot of money if Mano is not there, because when they signed these Coachella contracts, they signed it for 6 members and they can't just like back out last minute. So that's why Mano is legally obligated to perform at Coachella next week. If all of this comes out to be somewhat true, and they do end up kicking out Mano after Coachella, they are going to cause a mess that I don't think Cat's Eye will ever be able to fully recover from. And I just know that this is Geffen's team ruining everything for Cat's Eye, but they seem like they do not care at all.
Like I said, I don't think that this is actually a marketing tactic because it makes Cat's Eye look so weak. I think that this is ultimately Coachella advocating for Mano, and Hybe is really excited to wash their hands from her. Let's get into Brandy. Brandy says her ex-boyfriend Wanye Morris of Boys 2 took advantage of her due to their age gap. Brandy claims that whenever Kanye was in his early 20s and she was 16, they collaborated on their song Broken Hearted together in 1994. She said, I was way in over my head. Snaking around with Kanye and lying to my parents has become a constant. They barely liked the idea of me dating at all, and then telling them about us was out of question. She said it wasn't just upsetting or disappointing my parents. Kanye and I understood with diamond-cut clarity that the public cannot know about their relationship because of their age gap, because she's literally a minor. Claimed that they had a plan to wait until her 18th birthday to pursue any romantic connection publicly. Brandy writes about losing her virginity to Kanye. She goes on to share that as the relationship progressed, he became prone to comparing her to other artists like Mariah Carey. She said these are the things with hindsight that you realize are wildly obvious signs of something wrong. Neon warning signs that I chose to ignore because I didn't know what the hell I was doing or what the hell he was doing with me, just that I was in love or what I believed was love. She said the shame ends here. The silence ends here. I was not a fast girl with a crush. I was not a dramatic teenager who couldn't handle rejection. I was not an unstable, obsessive fan. I was a child and he was an adult. And at that time, the world understood the difference. If you guys are curious to how Kanye feels about these allegations, he's actually decided to go on to live stream like most smart people do. You get into a scandal, you get called out, and you go on live and you start blabbing. This is what he had to say.
Her mother and father was a part of our relationship. They allowed me to guide Brandy and to help her through her career. They understood that we had grown close, and that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So understand that that you know for a fact, whoever it is on there, that life happens. That's just what it is. So now you have your answer and you have your understanding. If you care to listen, you care to believe it, I don't care. I know the truth, and everybody else does too.
Kanye, why does it sound like you just admitted to grooming Brandy? Like, did you guys get that as well? But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Shout out to Lola Blankets for sponsoring this episode because I love Lola Blankets. We definitely want them to sponsor us again. So definitely go and check them out. I'm telling you, like, that blanket changed my life. Like, I slept with that blanket last night, and I will tonight, and I will every night for the time being. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will be at Coachella this weekend. I'll be posting a lot on TikTok and on Instagram, so follow me there at Sloan Hooks, and I'll see you guys in a new episode soon. Bye, guys.